Have you ever wondered how an overlooked NBA draft pick, someone the experts barely believed in, could become a Hall of Famer? Or even win the MVP trophy? You're about to meet 10 of the greatest second-round draft picks in NBA history. 10 players who refuse to stay in the shadows. Let's kick off our list with a man whose life is so wild, it's practically a Hollywood script.
How would you grade Gil as a teammate?
Shit, hell, fuck that. That nigga ruined my life, I tell you.
He ruined my life?
Ruined my life, bro.
But here you are at his crib.
No, that's my dog.
But
He's my dog, but he ruined my life. I tell him that all the time.
Gilbert Arenas, drafted 31st overall by the Golden State Warriors in 2001, got the nickname Agent Zero for his jersey number. But maybe it should have been Agent Overdraft because he famously spent his entire rookie salary before playing a single NBA game. Teams were scared off by his childish antics. At the pre-draft combine, he refused to run on the treadmill because he didn't want to scuff his brand new sneakers. Arenas miscalculated his draft position, went on a spree buying an Escalade, designer clothes, and found himself with barely enough for gas money. Forced to sleep in the team's arena just to get by, Gilbert turned that negative into a relentless drive. He practiced nonstop, sharpening his shot and outworking the competition. Why he's on the list? Three-time All-Star, dropped 60 points on Kobe's Lakers once, proving he was more than just a troublemaker. Most improved player in his second season, showing how quickly he evolved when given the chance. Arenas' journey teaches us one thing. Sometimes rock bottom is the springboard you need. When you're literally living in the gym, you might as well become a star. Now, if you thought Gilbert's story was a whirlwind, wait till you see who reimagined the forward position in the 1990s. Meet Toni Kukoc, the Croatian sensation who took the NBA by surprise. Drafted 29th overall by the Chicago Bulls in 1990, Toni was already a legend in Europe, but it took a while for him to cross the pond. At 6'10", Kukoc handled the ball like a guard and shot from deep with ease, attributes that were rare for big forwards in the early 90s. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen famously tested him during the 1992 Olympics, showing no mercy. They thought Bulls GM Jerry Krause was hyping Toni too much.
I remember Scottie Pippen, and all we heard in Chicago was how great Toni Kukoc was, from Jerry Krause and whatever. And we made a pact that we were not going to let this guy do anything against us. So it was like, okay, you got him the first half, I got him the second half.
When Kukoc finally joined the Bulls, he became a key piece of their second three-peat from 1996 to 1998. In 96, he won 6th Man of the Year, providing playmaking, shooting, and scoring off the bench. He hit a clutch playoff buzzer beater in 1994 against the Knicks, proving his ability to deliver when it mattered, even in the pressure cooker of Chicago.
Myers triggers the inbounds pass. Kukoc for the win!
Kukoc bridged European finesse and NBA physicality, paving the way for today's versatile bigs like Nikola Jokic. He was ahead of his time. Just watch his highlights, and you'll see a new age forward decades before it became the norm. Now get ready for the last pick of the draft who nearly led the league in scoring. Imagine being the very last pick in the draft.
I was the last pick of the whole draft.
Of the whole draft?
The last one, like people are going home.
Now imagine that pick is barely 5 feet 9 inches and expected to wash out of the league in a year or two. That's exactly where Isaiah Thomas started. Being 5'9" in the NBA is like trying to dunk on a trampoline next to guys who do it in their sleep. Scouts assumed he'd never survive. Drafted by Sacramento in 2011, he showed flashes of brilliance, but it was in Boston where he became an all-star, averaging nearly 29 points in 2017. In 2017, just after the tragic loss of his sister, Isaiah dropped 53 points on what would have been her birthday.
Where is this coming from, man? Where is this coming from?
It's my sister. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday. She would have been 23 today, so everything I do is for her, and she's watching over me, so that's all her.
An emotional and unforgettable display of heart. Though injuries derailed his prime, Isaiah Thomas's run proved that heart and skill can trump height. He remains a fan favorite everywhere he goes. Coming up next, a former airport janitor discovered at age 25 who morphed into the fiercest rebounder and one of the wildest personalities in NBA history. Dennis Rodman, nicknamed The Worm, is living proof that an unconventional path can still lead to greatness. Drafted 27th overall in 1986 by the Detroit Pistons, Rodman's pre-NBA life was marked by homelessness and odd jobs. Despite being around 6 feet 7 inches, Rodman studied angles, positioning, and spin off the rim to consistently grab 15 to 20 boards a night. He locked down everyone from Shaquille O'Neal to Karl Malone, winning Defensive Player of the Year twice.
It's a great pleasure to present the Master Lock NBA Defensive Player of the Year Award to Dennis Rodman. Congratulations.
He was the heartbeat of Bad Boy Pistons defense, part of 2 consecutive NBA titles. With Jordan's Bulls, he embraced a new role, helping lock up 3 more championships. Amid personal controversies like wild hair dyes and WWE appearances, Rodman's style, on and off the court, was as unorthodox as it gets. But beneath the tattoos and nose rings lay a basketball genius who redefined hustle. Speaking of redefining, we're moving from colorful hair and rebounds to a center once dubbed Big Burrito, the man who proved you can trade your brother for your brother and still come out on top. When the Lakers drafted Marc Gasol at number 48 in 2007, hardly anyone batted an eye. He was overshadowed by his older brother Pau. Plus, Marc was often teased for being out of shape. He was traded to Memphis for Pau Gasol in 2008. Many thought the Lakers got the better end of the deal. In reality, it was a win-win. Pau won titles in LA, Marc developed into a star in Memphis. He won Defensive Player of the Year, an NBA championship, and has a high basketball IQ. Next on the countdown is a tale so legendary, it's literally part of the Knicks' DNA. Before Nikola Jokic came along, Willis Reed was the lone second-rounder in history to capture the NBA MVP award. Drafted 8th overall in 1964 when the league had fewer teams, Reed spent his entire career with the New York Knicks. Reed was the undisputed leader of the Knicks, guiding them to their only championships in 1970 and 1973. He also won the Finals MVP in 1970, cementing his place in history. His most iconic moment came in Game 7 of the 1970 Finals against the Lakers, when Willis limped out of the tunnel on an injured leg. He scored the Knicks' first 2 baskets and led New York to victory, delivering one of the greatest displays of toughness in sports history. We've seen a leader with a heroic limp. Now we'll look at a leader known for loud intensity and next-level basketball IQ. Coming in at number 4 is the anchor of the Warriors' modern dynasty. Some call him a triple singles specialist. Others consider him the heartbeat of one of the greatest dynasties ever. Draymond Green, 35th pick in 2012, has been proving critics wrong since day one. At 6 feet 6 inches, Draymond often plays center in the Warriors' small ball lineup, setting the tone on defense and orchestrating passes on offense. He's a 4-time NBA champion and 2017 Defensive Player of the Year. Draymond doesn't just guard all 5 positions, he calls out opponents' plays, orchestrates his teammates' rotations, and brings an emotional edge that's priceless. A pass-first mindset with the vision of a point guard, leading to wide-open looks for Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Green proves that you don't need to be a 25 points per game scorer to become a cornerstone of a dynasty. Sometimes it's the intangible qualities, defense, heart, leadership, that bring home the rings. From a loud do-it-all forward to a lightning-quick guard who pulled off something no one else in NBA history has done, let's meet the only player to lead the league in scoring and assists in a single season. They don't call him tiny for nothing. At 6 feet 1 inch, 150 pounds, Nate Archibald became a Hall of Famer who torched defenses in the 70s. In 1970, the league had only 17 teams, making the 19th pick the second round. Many scouts doubted he could handle the NBA's physicality. Archibald quickly silenced critics by using speed, craftiness, and an uncanny ability to finish around bigger defenders. In 1972-73 season, he averaged 34 points and 11 assists, leading the entire NBA in both categories. To this day, no one has matched that. He won a title with the Boston Celtics in 1981, cementing his legacy. A 6-time All-Star and eventual Hall of Famer, Tiny proved you don't have to be huge to make a massive impact. Nate Archibald's story is about defying labels, be it too small or second round. He paved the way for undersized guards who came after him, showing that skill and heart can trump any height advantage. We move from the unstoppable Tiny Archibald to an Argentine who introduced the NBA to the Euro step and changed what it means to be a sixth man. Get ready for some flair. If you're talking second-round steals, you can't skip Manu Ginobili. Picked at 57th in 1999, this Argentine became the spiritual engine of the San Antonio Spurs.
I sit at home, I watch the draft, and we pick people that I've never heard of. Yeah, sitting there, Emmanuel Ginobili. Who did we just pick?
He was the Spurs' secret weapon, a vital part of the legendary Big Three alongside Tim Duncan and Tony Parker, helping lead the team to 4 championships. Manu revolutionized the sixth-man role, willingly coming off the bench and using his agility, creativity, and fearlessness to dominate.
I'd seen Manu in the summer. He walks up to me like, "Hey, Manu Ginobili, I'm with the Spurs." No, you're not. I assumed he was another one of the experiments? Yeah, experiments that I would never meet.
Manu Ginobili, a Hall of Famer and global icon, achieved international stardom by leading Argentina to a historic Olympic gold in 2004, where they famously defeated Team USA. Although the Euro step was already well known in Europe, Manu brought it into the NBA spotlight, inspiring many players to adopt it. He is living proof that a second-round pick can transcend the game. If you love underdog stories, Manu's name is at the top of the list. Well, almost. So, we've finally reached the pinnacle. The greatest second-round draft pick of all time is Bronny James, LeBron's son. Yup, LeBron's son. I mean, come on, He was destined to be a second-round sensation, right? Drafted just this season, he's already breaking ankles, breaking records, and might even carry on the Kings' legacy in Los Angeles. Wait, hold on, I'm just messing with you. Let's get serious. The actual number 1 on our list is Nikola Jokic, picked 41st overall in 2014 by the Denver Nuggets. While ESPN cut to a Taco Bell commercial, who would have guessed the chubby Serbian kid was destined for stardom? He's 3-time NBA MVP. His versatile, triple-double style made him the first center to win back-to-back MVPs in 2021 and 22 since Moses Malone. He led the Nuggets to their first-ever championship, showcasing a level of playmaking rarely seen at the center spot. What makes him special? His court vision rivals the league's best guards. He'll fire a behind-the-head, no-look pass like it's second nature. Floaters, step-back threes, mid-range turnarounds. He has the full offensive package, and it's unconventional yet deadly. Don't sleep on second-rounders. The guy literally came into the league overshadowed, overweight, and asleep in Serbia on draft night. A few years later, he's dominating the modern NBA. Jokic is living proof that greatness can arrive in unexpected forms. But if you want to see players who already started with high expectations, watch this video right now.